sad times in my head. That's a few things I might do is let go.
Change my life, change the way I think, change my life.
Been very emotional.
So, the structure. I reckon he said it like 20 times.
Probably more, to be honest.
And I had to ring him while I was editing. I was like, I can't stand this word anymore because you've just said, so, the structure. Like the whole time.
Every time. It tastes better now.
It tastes better now, yeah.
My wife likes to give me shit that I have a camera voice that I go into that's weird. She's like, just talk normally.
Yep.
Like when I first started recording content, I was a coach in a gym during lockdowns in Melbourne, and we did small group PT. So
Yep.
we made a bunch of content for our people, and it was just me and the camera, same sort of thing. And like, you got to make a video for the guys, like just something. Doesn't really matter what it is. So I went down my natural kind of inclination is mindset stuff. So I did that, but it took me like 20 takes to get it going.
Yep.
Sitting in this room, cold Melbourne, or Warrnambool, even colder.
Yep.
Winter, and just hating every minute of speaking. And then I'd show my wife, I'm like, I finally got something I was proud of. And she's like, what's that voice? I'm like, fuck.
I hate that you do something like the other day. I finally did a talk one on my story, and then so many people were like ripping me off at the start of the first video,
Yeah.
and then they watched the second video and realized I'm so uncomfortable in front of a camera because I said that.
Yeah.
And then they all felt so bad. I was like, yeah. And then someone was like, next time just look at the camera. I was like, there's always something wrong. Just say thank you.
I reckon that was heaps better.
Heaps better.
Heaps
I had to
better.
go through and delete all my videos yesterday morning because I've run out of storage.
Yeah.
There's
The deleted
literally
ones.
40 takes of just like a 20-second video. And I'm like, need to delete it.
Yeah, the only thing you need to is this thing.
Yeah.
You can't-
I
you
always
can't do
do that.
this?
I do it heaps.
But if it's your voice while you're speaking, then
Yeah.
just keep doing it.
Yeah.
It tastes better than so.
It gets you
The structure.
structure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's better than what it
You can
was.
edit out the hands. You can't edit out the structure.
Sometimes you can't because I'm like this. I like
Yeah.
putting my hands in your hair and I'm just
Oh,
like,
right.
I,
It's right in front of his face sometimes. I'm like, just put your hands down.
have
It's
you
like
seen
that.
that video of Talladega Nights?
Will Ferrell, yeah.
Or is it Will Ferrell? He's like, he wins his first race and he's just standing there talking and he's just like this. And they're like, put your hands down. And he's just like, just keep bringing his hands up.
So what do I do with my hands?
Yeah.
Just put them by your side.
How do you normally speak?
Yeah.
In the content game, you watch lots of people, and if you know them personally, it's like they speak really well and they explain stuff really well. As soon as you get in front of a camera, you're like doing all this sort of shit.
Yeah.
It's like you don't speak like that. It's
Yeah.
really awkward when you're on your own.
I'd
Yeah.
love to see your camera work.
Outtakes?
Yeah, how you change into it.
That's why I'm thankful that Keeves is really good at what he does because you don't notice he's there. Like, or unless we're actually filming face-to-face content, but
Today we're running, like, so I'm running, he's got the camera and he's running like backwards. And as he's running, I was like, ah! And he's like, what? And I was like, you better trip over a gutter. And he's just like, oh yeah, just tell me next time. I was like, I did. But yeah, it's funny when you don't honestly don't notice he's there.
especially the vents, especially, but I think also we get pretty deep into what we're speaking about as well.
Yeah.
Like, but we've had, maybe not at our events. I've been to an event before personally where like someone's filming and you've gone through, you know what our events are like, they're pretty raw stuff. And he's like, just like really up in your face. And I'm like, bro, I can feel myself about to cry here.
Yeah.
And I can just hear just a lens going zzz, like zooming into my face. I'm like, just give me a foot. Just give me a foot, back up a little bit. But yeah, I reckon, Keeves is
He's
very good at what he does.
He does it well. I don't really. You notice, but you don't notice at the same time.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
not intrusive.
Yeah.
I've been at other stuff where I've done breath work and meditation before and had content people up in your grill, and they're pretty good, but they've got lens clicks.
Yeah.
So they would revert to their like high quality phone camera, so it doesn't make the lens click
Yep.
because it's quite distracting.
Yeah, well, these Sony cams, I just took photos of the boys before. As you could hear, it's like, but if you, on the Sony cams, I'm not sure if it's on the Canons as well, but on the Sonys, if you knock off the sound, if you take the sound out, it affects the shutter speed.
Yeah, right.
So like when you're taking a photo, part of the sound is because of the shutter speed. So if you take the sound out, it knocks out the shutter speed. So yeah, I don't know why that would be a thing if it's on Sony and not Canon. Anyway, that's
Above my pay grade.
way above my pay grade, 100%. So yeah, cool. Strength trainer into mindset. How did, well, I guess not necessarily how did you stumble onto our events and stuff like that, but what was the first point of like, all right, I'm going to see what this is like and see, what's going to come from this. What was the main
From
starting
Polaris.
point? Yeah, like for yourself, before you even reached out, what was the main starting point to go, all right, I'm going to start focusing on mindset, inner world, however you want to
Like
explain
that.
it?
So part of my formative years was I worked as a youth worker. When I was 15, 16, I worked part of the council youth group, organising concerts and stuff.
Yep.
For like all age drug and alcohol free things that the government used to give funding to, and we'd do all the organisation because I was in bands at 15, 16, so I was really interested in that. But through that I got into working with a youth worker and working around mental health and stuff like that,
Awesome.
and then ended up going to uni. I dropped out of school in year 11,
Yep.
took a year off and did a pretty nominal music industry course that was just really to buy myself time, and then went to uni and did a diploma of youth work.
Awesome.
And so my plan always was to go into youth work and helping people with, with whether it's depression or just bad socioeconomic things, with violence and or any of that, just under the underprivileged. Yes. And one thing I realised very quickly doing that was that I was not grown up enough to do it, and I hadn't confronted my own issues.
Yeah, gotcha.
It really started in my 20s, that stuff, and it took a long time and a lot of failing and rebirth and all that sort of stuff.
Yep,
But
yep.
coming to Polaris was all through Max. So, because Max and I are friends outside of here, I saw what he was doing and it looked really interesting. So, I came along, and my wife was very encouraging of me doing that. She was the one who
She
booked
was.
it.
I remember when she came, she was making very sure that you had to come.
Yeah, that's right, because she attended the very first women's event, didn't she?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
not the first
Yeah,
one.
it was the
it
first
second
one. No, the first one.
This one.
It was the first one.
And she
I
mainly,
remember.
she mainly did that, A, for herself, but also to be there in solidarity with one of her friends who was going through a real
Gotcha.
tough time.
Yep.
And she was very keen on, even before that, me doing it, because my issues have lasted from being a teenager,
Sure.
that I've never really processed a lot of them. So, and I've done all the conventional things, medication, therapy, numerous types of therapy, and the same issues keep coming up. So it was like, well, let's try something different. And certainly helped. I was, like, I've been on that path already, so I was open to it and am aware of, like, I've studied psychology and studied youth work, and so I know a lot about the mechanics of depression and mental health. So understanding what's wrong makes sense to me, but understanding how to fix it
Yeah.
for other people makes sense, but for myself does not.
Gotcha.
So do you think since attending our events, those issues are, if they're still coming up, do you feel like you know how to handle them a lot better now? Or was it,
Sometimes.
yeah,
Not always.
Yeah.
I think it illuminated some things that I probably hadn't given much creed to
Yeah.
before. Particularly stuff around, like, my dad and me as a father and that kind of lineage stuff there, and how I'm passing down these behaviours to my kids. Particularly, I've got two sons, and particularly my eldest son.
yeah,
I'm very aware of how I act affects him
Yeah.
greatly.
yeah,
Yep.
And I'm watching that
How
now.
old?
As he's 11.
yeah. Okay,
So
so
he's
he's
just,
at that age now.
yeah.
He picks up everything.
he's just going into pre-pubescent, emotional hormonal changes. So
Sure.
his attitude is growing, and I'm seeing that reflected very strongly. Like, even when it just comes to, like, this morning getting ready for school, something happened that didn't go his way. He's like, for fuck's sake, crack the shits, and I'm like, fuck, that's just me.
Yeah,
So trying to rewrite that stuff,
Yeah.
and understanding that I'm the same as my dad, and my dad now, I'd like have a very good relationship with my dad, so this is not me shit canning him
Yep.
at all. And I think he's great, and he was very present during my childhood, but he had a temper problem that was just an an anger expression problem. So if something went wrong, fuck, it would come out. It would never be at you or physically
Yeah, it would just
at you.
literally
it was
come
just
out, yeah.
So it was like, that's how you express frustration. So
Yeah.
I do the same thing. And he now, since having heart problems, is very sage about these things. Like, you just got to stop it. You just got to stop. And, like, I've told him a few times, even recently, I'm like, you can't just tell me to stop.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't work like that.
Yep.
You had a significant traumatic event that made you stop, and you telling me to stop just because it's not good for me doesn't actually work. So
Yeah.
finding processes to deal with that, and I think a lot of it comes from repressing
Sure.
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, sure.
Particularly how you feel in a situation. Like I'm very much the diplomatic person sometimes, and I won't tell people what I actually think.
Yeah.
Just to save rocking the boat.
Save the confrontation.
Yeah, and like if anything, since moving up here has taught me through a few experiences over the last 18 months is that I really need to not let that happen.
Yeah.
So because you get walked all over.
It's funny how like, you get walked all over and you're like, I don't want to go through that confrontation. I don't want to have to go through that physical face-to-face shit. But then the more you keep doing it in here, you're creating even bigger confrontations. And it's like, gets to a point where in here is way worse than actually the confrontation itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even just small things like you just let that slide, that behaviour, that
Yeah.
these things that don't align with how your life aligns. And
Sure.
it's like not participating is kind of the first step. Like if it's just like making fun of someone or sexually degrading someone in speak, which is something that I struggled with in this particular situation, is that stuff will frustrate me. So I won't participate. I'll just be like, oh yeah, cool. And I won't laugh or do any of that sort of shit, but I don't say anything. So it's like, there's got to be a point where you say something like, hey man, that's not cool.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
like actually pull it up because it's going to compound get to a point where you then explode.
Well,
The
yeah, you let
situation
stuff like
explodes.
go, and then like it kind of comes back to you as like, what type of person are you?
Yeah.
Which I went through something similar recently with a guy, and it happened for years. It just like this stuff would happen, and then one day, the other week, I just got to a point. I was like, if I don't say anything now, it's just literally coming back onto me. What type of man am I? So then I just said something, and he's just like, "Thank you for doing that." And I was like, I've been wanting to say it for so long, but I just never did. I just pushed it aside and was like, "Oh, whatever." And then I just got to that point where I was like, I really need to say something because it's just finding the person who I am. So I just said it, and once it happened, I was like, "Thank God I did that."
Do you think it's a point of like us pushing it to the side, or do we say to ourselves, there's bigger things at play here, let me focus on the bigger things before focusing on that?
I think so. I think we kind of do push things to the side because we do think other things are bigger. But I've also noticed those littler things are what cause the bigger problems, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I learned heaps of that on my run. Was all the little things that I used to push aside, but that's probably the bigger the things that led up to all the big shit that's happened in my life.
Yep.
So if I was just to address the small things, all that other shit just wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the similar. I wouldn't say. Yeah, I would say it's a similar thing. Lauren and I, over the past couple of months, it was just like, because we're usually great together, like we're absolutely fine and not much comes up. But then we were just noticing each other just getting that triggered quicker, and it, like lashing out quicker, and we. Instead of like letting that go on and on and on, like you said, letting them build up until it just all explodes, we've like dedicated a Wednesday. So every Wednesday, she doesn't go to work, I don't step in the office. And we start off our Wednesday by like having like an hour check-in, being like, all right, cool. What could have we done better this week?
Yeah.
Could we have done better with the children? What were the things that we did great? What do we feel like's lacking in the relationship at the moment? What's great in the relationship? And having that an hour a week check-in has stopped those lash outs and those, extra confrontations that we had to go through, because we're like checking in with each other and going, well, this is what I feel like needs to work on. And if that happens, then we can sit down with each other and be like, hey, remember we said we need to work on this, because, we're not perfect. Humans aren't perfect, especially with all the stuff that we've gone through in our lives. It's easy just to, be triggered a lot quicker, especially if you've got a lot of stuff on your plate. So I think that hour a week has helped insanely. It's helped us connect way more, and we haven't, just like you said, just kept putting it to the side and focusing on other things. We've started to focus on it, and it's started to get a lot better.
I think another thing to go like deeper with that is how you just like, you pull someone, like you just don't let it slide anymore. You say something. It's like, go deeper with it. Would you cheat on your wife? And if you wouldn't, then like pull that shit up. Like the little things that you could just do, like, I'll just like eat KFC or I'll eat something. It's just like, it just goes deeper. It's like, if you do this, you're just going to cheat on yourself. Like,
Yeah.
it can go so deep with it. And that's pretty much what I went through on the run, was just like, if I just cheat this little bit, or if I do something in the past where I've just let it slide and didn't pull it up,
Yeah.
that's what's led me to all this like sabotage.
It's kind of the idea of how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So if you cheat here, then you're going to cheat.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, a statement I've been saying to myself lately, I think it's since the kids have gotten a bit older, is would I say that to my kids, or would I let my kids say that, or would I let my kids go through that, whatever the scenario is? And if I would, sweet, all right, cool, let it go. But if it wouldn't, need to pull it up, especially if it's coming from me. Like if sort of similar to what you were speaking about your dad, how it's like something happens and it's an outburst, not directed at anyone, but it comes out, and then you go, fuck, really wish I didn't do that. It's like those moments you have to consistently keep, focusing on, for me personally anyway.
Yeah, one thing I find that when I have those sort of frustrated moments and it does come out is like similarly to the anger expression that you do in the reconnection.
Yeah.
When you let it out, there's catharsis. So that frustration, it's like, oh, it's building up, and then you're like, fuck, and you fucking let it all out and let everyone have it and let the world know that you're pissed off, and then you feel great. And that's really a big juxtaposition to how you've just created hell for everybody. And everybody around you feels like shit, and you feel amazing.
Yeah.
Because you've let it out.
Yep.
You've let them all have it. So
Exactly.
realizing those things is like, because I would always do the cathartic expression because I felt better after it. But that ripple effect of how it touches everybody outside you, and it's not just them, it's then who they interact with, and how their day then forms is around your bullshit.
Yeah.
But you feel great.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And it can go and affect the other way too. Like you show like how positive happiness and everything, then it reflects on other people.
Sure.
It's just the same ripple effect.
Yep.
So it's just like now you're aware of like the release that anger in a different way, and like behind closed doors, not in front of people. It's just like that's where the healthiness will come from it.
Yeah, and one thing, like music was that for me for a long time, and I wrote a big post about this on my social media because it was kind of the formation of how I found training was that I played heavy music, so I got to rah and yell and headbang and let it all out 2-3 times a week. I'd rehearse. I was in multiple bands, so I was rehearsing at least once, maybe twice a week with one of them, another time with another one. Then we might have shows, we go on tour. I've got this very physical outlet for it.
Yep.
And I had that from like 15 to 32. We moved to the bush and I stopped doing band stuff as much. I still did a little bit, but I didn't have rehearsals. I didn't have that stuff. I did a bit of recording here and there, but I didn't have it, and it got really bad. And it was, my wife's like, what the hell's going on? Like, we've moved to this life that we've wanted. We're peace, we're out of the city, got everything that we want. Just had a kid. Like, everything was great. Our life wasn't busy. We both stayed at home. We just lived on the land and very relaxed. But I was like fucking pissed off all the time. And it was like, what the hell's going on? And the disconnect was I didn't have somewhere to put it. And for me, there's somewhere. My year 10 English teacher, who's the best teacher I ever had, called me on this once. So when you feel like this, go and get a stick and hit a tree or kick a fence, or like, it's got to come out.
Yeah, awesome.
So I've always had somewhere for it to go. And then when it had nowhere to go, it's like, well, sorry, family, your call.
Yeah.
And it wasn't ever like screaming and yelling at them per se. It was always me. But to them, it's they're getting it.
Yeah, sure.
Training was, that culminated in a big falling out with my father-in-law when we lived in the bush. And we moved back to my hometown, back to the city, and I went, all right, I've got to do something. And my wife was like, you've got to do something. It's got to change. So the gym was that. It's like, all right, let's get in the gym. My niece's partner was a personal trainer. So teach me how to do gym stuff.
Yep.
And I got in, I'm like, I'm pretty good at this. Like, I wasn't super strong, but it made sense. And I felt great. So like, and then lifting heavy was the place to put it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's healthy to put it there.
Yeah.
Because it needs to be processed and dealt with, but it's given me a breather.
I think it's a
to deal with
good
it.
way to start with it though. Like it's
Yeah.
good. Like as long as it's not your only outlet, that's the only
Yeah,
issue.
that's it.
And that's what
Because
I've
if it
noticed.
goes, then I'm fucked.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. It's like I've seen so many people that come in and their outlet is literally train, because that's what I did. I'd train like 3 times a day because that was my outlet. And you see so many people do it nowadays, and then when they come in to do our stuff, it literally takes like 2 breaths, and then freaking the walls just come straight down.
Yeah.
Just because they don't have another outlet to do it. That's where they flog themselves in the gym. But yeah, it's definitely cool now that they're like to go from that like not having having the outlet to then not having the outlet, and then now finding it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
I think in that process too. Sorry.
No, you go.
to cut you off, but in that process, I found that the outlet needs to not be, like you said, the only
one
thing.
thing, yeah.
It's like it can't be the gym is therapy. It's like, no, therapy's fucking therapy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
work on yourself.
Yeah.
The gym is like that physical kind of place to put it. And the funny thing about lifting is that I'm not an angry lifter. I go in there and like my big lifts, I'm very relaxed at a meet. I'm like chatting, laughing, and I'm so relaxed.
Do you still listen? Do you listen to like real hype up music?
Not really.
Yeah.
Like I will if no one's in the gym.
Yeah.
I'll put.
Some
But
music.
I listen to that music. That's my calm music. So,
Yeah.
like, because I'm a metalhead,
Yeah.
what people consider hype up music is just the music I listen to generally. But
Yeah.
I can listen to whatever. I don't care as
Yeah.
long as it's not disturbed. I'm
Yeah,
alright.
I used to listen to like I never used to be like a rock person or metal person. But I do like it, but then the way I learnt to calm my mind while I'm doing hectic stuff is like Beethoven, like
Yep.
classical music, just like nice and slow because it's like if it's slow in here,
Yeah.
it's gonna come relax out.
Well, then if you look at there's studies about classical music and reducing the cortisol response and
Yeah.
calming people down, like they played in train stations to reduce crime.
Yeah,
They've shown that if they play that music, people are less likely to be socially aggressive. So there's merit to it, I guess, if you find the right music.
yeah,
Yeah.
I like to just talk and chat and
yeah,
focus when I need to focus.
Yep.
Like one thing I've learned through competing is being able to turn it on and off and getting better at doing that and not having to be in that heightened
all the
state
time.
all the time. It's just when I get to the chalk bowl and it's like bars loaded, right,
Sure.
then I'm on.
Gotcha.
And a good friend of mine back in Victoria taught me how to do that. And he's like, he had worked with a sports psychologist that worked with the Richmond Footy Club. And he talked to me a lot about that because I was going into like a meet really nervous, full of nervous energy. He's like, this is how you need to approach it. And from then it's just been like laughing, having fun,
Yeah.
you know.
But then turn it on when you need to turn it on.
when you need
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you
Yeah.
like what you were saying with like your mindset and training? Do you use your mindset to lift certain things? Like you'd think of something,
No,
or like you bring in anything like mentally to get through anything?
never.
Yeah, just go for it. Just
No,
lift heavy
I'm just
shit.
focusing on, A, I know I'm strong enough to do it.
Yeah,
B, particularly because I lift in equipment, I have to be really technically precise, otherwise I'm done. Like
yeah,
Max can attest to this because he was there the other day when I was lifting what should have been relatively easy to do for 2 reps, and I couldn't get the second rep just because the technique was off. So the equipment I lift in there's a fine line between it working and it not working. If it works, great, you get heaps of carryover, and I'll get 50, 60 kilos extra on my squat.
Yeah.
If I lose that, I've got nothing and I have to muscle it, and that's probably not possible because it's 50, 60 kilos over what I can do without it.
So when you say you're different to him, in which way? Like when is it?
Is it more like safety bar stuff, or is it more
No.
like?
Same exact sport.
Yep.
It's just the equipment that I wear. So
Okay.
when Max lifts, he wears knee wraps,
Yep.
and so they give you bounce out of and stability in your knees, and you get support. I basically wear knee wraps on my whole body. So
Gotcha.
I have a squat suit, and it's made out of thick canvas, 2-ply canvas. I wear 2-ply canvas briefs underneath it. So what I do is essentially I'm sitting into an immovable object, and with enough weight, it'll move. And if I stay in the position that it doesn't want to be in, it's going to force me out of it.
Right.
So I get pop out of it.
Okay. And is that? You go.
If he was to put that on, would he lift way more than what he's lifting?
Probably not.
Okay.
It
'cause
come back down to technique.
Yeah, it comes
Yeah.
to skill.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the common misconception is that you just put that on and it does.
It's like a super suit.
It does all the work.
Yeah.
Like, you have
Where's
to make,
my super suit?
Yeah.
you have to make it work. I'm
Yeah.
sure you could probably get, like Max is technically proficient enough that he could probably figure it out in one session
Yeah.
and get carryover. But the more carryover you want, if you're going to get like 100 kilos extra on your squat, you have to be 100 kilos stronger at the top
Sure.
and, you know, a third of the way up in the squat. But you also need to be super technically proficient in the gear to do it.
Yeah, right. Okay. Have you boys seen the those enhanced games that have just come out?
Oh yeah.
I can't
Yeah,
wait to watch
can't
that.
wait to watch. And did you see James Magnuson, the swimmer?
I
So he was on a podcast I listened to. It's called Hello Sport, and they were talking about it, and they were like, "Oh fuck, well let's DM him and see if he'll respond." And he was like, "Yeah, boys, yeah, I'm up for a chat." So they rang him live on the potty, and they were like, "Are you going to jump in here?" And they're like, "If they throw $1 million at me, I will juice up for 6 months, and I'll beat the 50-meter record. I've been retired for 2 years." And they're like, "You've heard it here first." Like the day later, he signs for him. A day later, they go, "All right, here's $1 million for you," and he signed up. So he's going to juice up for 6 months, and he's like, "I'm going to blast this 50-meter record."
I've got my own opinions on this.
Yeah, well, what hit me? What do you reckon?
The enhanced games. So controversial opinion. They're fucking Olympics.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Every sport, every professional sport. I don't care if you want to fucking hate on me. Direct DM me. Don't DM these boys, but DM me. I'll fight you to it. I'll fight you to the death. And I'm strong enough to do it. I'll kill you.
Jesus.
Every professional athlete has doped in some way.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
100%.
I've
If people think Usain Bolt was clean, they're stupid.
Mate,
He's not just eating chicken nuggets. I'll tell you that.
These chicken nuggets are full of hormones that he's also pumping.
Exactly.
So I think it's great where they can just openly admit, oh shit, yeah, I'm doping. Like that's awesome. I'm doping and I'm doing this amount. I reckon if they were just completely transparent about what that particular athlete was running,
But
at a certain amount,
it just depends what athletes they get in, because there's no point getting an athlete that's just average, juicing him up,
That's true.
and then seeing, because he's not going to be better than the best anyway.
possibly not.
You know what I mean? So you're better off getting someone that's really fucking good or was really fucking good,
Yeah.
juice them up, and then see what they can do.
That's right.
Yeah.
I saw a meme about this just this morning, I think it was, and it was like the enhanced games, not one world record was broken.
Yeah.
It was just reference
Exactly.
to the fact that it's like at the elite level.
What about,
look at all the elite level people that keep coming out
Yeah.
and getting busted.
What about what do you reckon? Do you boys reckon they'll do like a weightlifting section, and they'll have someone that actually competes in the Olympics, which obviously I know is still juiced. I get that, but then they go, "Oi, come over here. We'll offer you however many mil, juice them up for 6 months, and see what happens there."
There was literally a 19-year-old who just, I think it was either a clean or a clean press. He did like 200 and some kilos. Bro.
Chinese fella?
I don't think he was Chinese. I think he might have been Russian or something. Did you
Yeah,
see
of course he was.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 19-year-old man. He's like
Wow.
twice the size of you and 19 years old.
Wow. Some
And
big
he's
boys.
Maybe
just
some
ripped
like
up 200 some kilos.
maybe some Bulgarian fucking
They got nothing else to do but train.
yeah lives in a city of 200
They got
million.
nothing else to do but train.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, and they've got the institutes of sport to go through. Those communist countries, they have the best testing grounds for.
Russia's been waiting for
Athletes, because
this to
they've-
happen.
Yeah,
Putin's behind all of it.
Oh shit, yeah. We've all seen Icarus. Icarus proves it.
Yeah.
As he said, oh, my friend died of a heart attack. He said he's the healthiest bloke he's ever met in his life. He's only died of a heart attack. That's what the Russian official media said. He's like, no, he didn't. And he's there in America, about to blow the whistle with the New York Times and everything. And he's got black cars following him around. And it's like, yeah, well, we can't kill you yet, but we will.
He may have died of a heart attack. It's
Yeah,
just
I think
whether
he
it was
did.
induced.
yeah.
That's right. I reckon- I
Natural
reckon-
causes or not.
I reckon it's going to be great. I reckon it'd be a great idea. At least if you can come out with all the protocols of what these athletes are running and go, right, well, this particular athlete at this point was running this. And
Yeah.
this is how much he benefited. Like Icarus guy, the guy, was it Brian Fogel, the guy who did it? He's like, he did worse the next year in that amateur race, juicing, because everyone else is doing it.
Yeah.
And so they're like, well, obviously they have better protocols or doing a bit too much. There's nothing to do. Well, there is too much. There is too much. Rich Piana.
What about he's probably been retired for ages, but what about if they did get Bolt in? Fucking juice him up.
Bro, he'd smoke everyone.
He would.
You would smoke everyone, but do you reckon he would beat his record?
Yep. 100% he would.
Or are we looking at it like he was already juiced and in the peak of his performance then?
Yeah, I think you'd have to look at the peak of his performance would be the better indicator.
Yeah.
'Cause it's not going to be the juice that
That's
gets him to that
exactly,
point.
yeah.
It's the 20 years of training
Yep.
that led up to his peak.
And I dare say the training has petered off
Yeah,
lately.
no doubt. Well, if he's been pushing himself that long
Yeah.
and then retired, you wouldn't be training with the same intensity.
Yeah, no
If
way.
someone that would introduce a boxer and they gave it to Floyd, and he would fucking dominate again.
Yeah, he still fucking dominates.
He still fights.
Takes the piss.
Yeah. Just takes the piss.
Just versus YouTubers and takes the piss.
Yeah.
Have you seen those fights?
No.
Just takes the piss. Like he'll have his hands behind his back, and they'll just be punching. He'll just be like ducking and weaving.
He had a fight against some young up and coming boxer, and he was just standing and he was just like, old mate was just like laying into him and he's just laughing. He's like, "Not today, brother." I just went dools and just fucking laid into him, and I was just like, 60
50
years old.
No, he's 50, 51, 52, I think Floyd.
It's not like,
Yeah.
he's
I think he's 51. I'll have a look.
pretty crazy. I reckon it'd be
Good if you want to prove a point, but at what point do you become like a circus act?
Yeah, I think he already might be a circus act.
when he was still,
Yeah.
I think he's been a circus act for a while.
I think it was Sean Strickland, the MMA guy, did the same thing.
Yeah, he just
He's
fought
just
a YouTube.
Yeah,
the other day.
Snako.
I still didn't even drop him.
That's right.
He can drop
oh,
Adesanya.
Oh, he did. No, that's because they threw the towel and you just see towels just going.
Yeah, but he
Yeah,
didn't
but
stop.
He didn't stop. He
No,
fought
not
the
really, man.
shit out of him.
Obviously,
He,
was
40
said, he even said, Sean even said it after. He said, I was literally trying to drop you. And he goes, I couldn't drop you. So
He fed him,
yeah, he absolutely did.
but that Sneeko fellow went straight to hospital,
yeah.
fully concussed. Like he was dribbling. Floyd's 46, by the way. Taking the piss at 46.
wow.
Still take him.
Fucking crazy.
Mike Tyson's his 50s, isn't he?
Imagine him. He was a fucking animal.
Mate.
He's still there. He's back into his, well, he wouldn't say he's peak, but he's back active.
Yeah, did you hear that? I think we spoke about this before, but Joe Rogan had him on for a potty, and he was like, "I'm so thankful that this was the podcast that we got the extra large table, so Mike Tyson was on the other side, because he was like, I was actually fucking scared of him sitting in front of me because
Have
he
you
was."
seen him on that other one where someone asked him a question where he says, you're such a lovely, kind person, and he just fucking cracks his shit.
Yeah.
It's like, get the fuck out of here, fuck off, just fully
When
turn the
it-
switch.
Jesus.
And it's just like, whoa. And they were all like, what the fuck? I was just trying to pay you a compliment. It's like, it's the wrong compliment.
Jesus.
If he got angry, I'd be up straight away.
Yeah.
I'd be gone.
Yeah, as soon as you see those eyes close over a bit, you'd be like, right, see ya.
Leave me shit. I'm out of here. I'll get it on a later date.
Yeah, fuck that.
Slowly
Mate.
wheeling the chair back.
There was a clip of him. I think Ryan Garcia is sitting in front of him. He's like, Mike, it's a question that I've always wanted to ask. Always. Who's the one fighter ever? One fighter ever, if you could bring him back in their prime, you're in their prime, who would you want to fight? And he said like straight away, who was like the greatest warrior back in the time? It was like Aurelius, or like
Troy. I don't know.
who was
It's the place,
yeah, in
man.
Roman times.
Yeah, right.
As I said it, I knew it was wrong.
Well,
Was
this
his
is
name
what-
Achilles?
I don't think Marcus,
Achilles, yeah. Ryan's like expecting him to say like, someone great in our time, and he's just like, Achilles.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? He's like the greatest warrior that ever lived.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to see if I can fight him and beat him. And Ryan's like,
No.
okay, all right then.
I'll go out on a limb and say, I'm sorry, Mike. It's not going to happen.
You might lose that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a fight.
Yeah.
If it's a boxing fight,
No, he still was. All right, if you are into your Greek mythology, like myself, mate,
here we go.
this man
Strap in,
was-
ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I was actually going to be named Achilles. Mum fucking is fascinated.
Thank God you didn't, because fuck
Jesus.
your ego would have been to the
Probably not Maximilian then.
Maximus. I was supposed to be
Maximilius Achilles.
Well, I was supposed to be Maximus instead. If that's what she settled on, and then my
That's a
father-
Gatorade, isn't it? Isn't that a Gatorade drink?
It is
Maximus?
actually, yeah. It is.
Yeah, there you go.
And my father thought it'd be a great idea to put Maxwell Ronald.
That's all wrong.
Mum's like, who the
Mine's
fuck?
not much better. Mine's Jacob Henry. So
Henry's a great name. And then she just goes, well, Mum looks at the birth certificate and goes, who the fuck is Ronald? Who do you know is Ronald? And he goes, oh. Look,
I like it. I like the
owning
name
my
Maxwell
name
Ronald James. I reckon it's sick.
Hey, mate, I own my name now.
I think it's great.
The Don.
That's it. But yeah, Achilles,
Don
man, the
Corleone.
guy was just phenomenal. Everyone knew of Achilles. Everyone was so shit scared of Achilles when he would rock up and you'd see that axe, that dual wielding axe that had he was just like, holy fuck, you cannot, like, everyone shot himself. They were like, no, this
But what I'm
guy's-
saying
Yeah,
is,
but
in
let's say
a sanctioned boxing match,
Hey, you still fuck him up.
I don't know.
I don't know. Take the axe out of
You
it.
got to think. You
Take
got to
the
think.
axe
Though.
away.
You got to think. And then when he actually did die, when he was, when his Achilles heel got him, when he got an arrow through it and he passed.
Hang on,
His
wait.
cousin.
Hang on.
That's why the Achilles is called the Achilles.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. But you're saying the greatest warrior of all time
There you go, bro. The only reason he got
died
brought
from his
down,
Achilles
though-
getting blown out.
Well, the reason his mother was psycho as fuck. She drowned every single child that she gave birth to. The only reason he didn't was I don't know what the technical term is, but he was born feet first. And so
Yeah,
what she
so
used to do was,
breach-
as soon as they took a breath, she would drown him in a bucket straight away. The king found out what was going on. He found out what was going on and broke into the birthing chamber And it was just by pure chance that Achilles was born feet first. So she's tried to drag him out. That's why his Achilles was already, his ankle was already sore because as a baby she tried to pull him out to drown him. But the king came in and saved him. And then he became the greatest warrior. His cousin Ajax, Ajax Spray and White, that's where it comes from, Ajax. He, when Achilles was finally killed, his cousin Ajax put on Achilles' armor. And, there's a big whole fucking thing of like, it's the reincarnation of, the resurrection of Achilles. And he went to go and fight the next day. But Ajax was, I think, a foot taller, like a fucking, but an even bigger man. He was bigger than Achilles. And he was like, holy fuck, this is Ajax. Can't would bloody fill up this room. That's how big he was. But could not wear his armor, weighed him down too much. Couldn't swing his sword or his axe. It was too heavy for Ajax. And this man Achilles was just nothing, as if it was air. And Ajax was killed that day too because he just couldn't hack his armor. Yeah, so it's pretty incredible. So you're going to have the most incredible warrior to ever have lived. Well, so they say.
At least in Greek mythology.
Yeah. Against a man who actually did live. It's like, I don't know,
Well,
man.
I got 100 on Mike.
Because you just see these
I don't have
used
much
to
trust in that.
hypnotise him before fights,
Oh, yeah.
turn him to killer mode, and they'd fully hypnotise him for his training and stuff, and then, they'll teach him to kill.
So like he would go like 6 months worth of getting hypnotized before a fight, and he would have a trigger point on his hand. So before he put his gloves on, he would hit the trigger point and like pinch himself and like trigger him to that hypnotic state. Put his gloves on.
The one when he comes out of jail, the first fight, and old mate's standing there in front of him, and he's just like, and his eyes are just like that, just following him, and they're just like, that was the scariest Mike they've ever seen.
That's Killer Mike. That's different
And then he just
gravy.
came out there and absolutely murdered old mate.
Post jail.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I remember watching that documentary. It was just called Tyson. I think it was what it was called. Tyson.
Yeah.
He's like, one of his fights, he's like, I got a VD the day before, and all I want to do was see a doctor. So all I want to just go in there and fuck this guy up so I can go and see a doctor straight after.
That's what he did.
Yeah.
Came out the first round, just boom, got him.
Yeah.
He's all right. That's why he said he got out of the ring straight away. Didn't even wait for the belt. Just went straight out and goes, shoot me up. My doodle hurts.
He's done pretty well to survive cancel culture of the 90s.
Absolutely.
Given that how much praise he gets now. But if you think about the stuff that he did, it's like
Yeah, it's pretty quite crazy.
if he did it now, he'd be like, all right, see you later.
Yeah. That you get.
Yeah.
You think,
That
Well, maybe because it could
very
be.
whimsical stuff. That
He was, he's trying to atone for some of the things he did. He has gone through this huge change, like we all do, and all have gone through. He's like, back in the day, I was probably not as a nice a person as I should have been. But that being said, everyone's got their journey. He is who he is because of what he's done, what he's gone through. We can all, at some point get to that point. Some people who are part of that cancel culture will never get to that point. They'll never take that accountability
no,
for their own lives. And yet,
arguably,
they have the
probably
power.
never would take accountability for their
Never.
own bullshit. They'll just put it on other people.
Well, yeah. That's what most of society is. But anyway.
But everyone deserves a second chance. They do.
Oh, 100%. 100%. How long are we running there for, Maxwell Ronald Jones?
43.
43. Beautiful. Yeah, fucking Mike. Jesus.
I'm going to just refer to you as the Don or Achilles from now on. So
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, mate.
He should change his everything to Achilles.
Achilles.
I can't believe that's how we died.
There is a beautiful.
That's why
There is
you
actually
got to
a
find
beautiful.
the Achilles heel of something. So you got to find that weak point because they found his weak point. Achilles is
Heel.
I think it was. Like, it
greatest
might have
warrior of all
been.
time.
I think it might
died
have
from
been
a
in
heel
his
injury.
chariot or something, and he's going to spring off, and it just kind of gave out on him, and then he's like, and showed a real weakness. He might have got shot with an arrow in the side or something, and that was it. It's kind of. I know the movie Troy kind of gets him shot in the ankle with an arrow, but no, I think it was something I don't know.
Yeah, he gets shot in the ankle, and then as he falls, they shoot him
Shoot him
a few
again.
times in the ribs. And
Yeah, I think it was actually from what Mum was saying too. I haven't read it, but she has. He the chariot. I think he goes over something and his ankle and he raises up and gets shot in the side, and that's it. Then he goes boom. So he's exposed as he comes up the chariot. Yeah, Mum knows a lot.
That's fair enough. I can't judge it. I sit at a computer desk all day, every day, so I can't really judge a bloke on getting shot in the ribs and, being the greatest
Still
warrior.
fought.
You've been a keyboard warrior here. You're like, oh,
Yeah. Fuck Achilles. Died of a heel injury. What?
Jacob dies of a paper cut.
Yeah.
Paper cut gets infected.
Please don't say that.
That's actually a real thing, man. On site, if you get a paper cut, you got to get an injury form and everything filled out.
He's like, are you kidding?
No.
Bro,
Jesus. Don't expect that in this
I
office.
cut myself at work. I'll get duct tape and just duct tape my foot up. Or I get glue. I get the other day I cut my arm, and one of the young kids was like, "Oh my god, it's pretty big." And I was like, "Get me the glue gun." And I just glued my arm, taped it with duct tape. At the end of the day, took it off, wiped my arm off. I was good to go.
I'm not
He's
hearing
like, "Don't
this.
you
What about infections?
don't need infections?"
I'm
So
not.
I am infected.
Sterile.
I'm not hearing
Yeah,
this.
it's sterile and I like the taste. Yeah, Max, you'd be on a different level. You'd have to be make sure you're getting.
I'm a very complicated case. I've got my own health management plan at work because of it.
It's good.
I roll an ankle, I'm fucked. Which is, I hop out the car all the time and climb up I traverse some pretty rough terrain, and I roll my ankle, I'm in hospital.
So you're similar to Achilles, except it's a rolled ankle.
That's all right. Well, it's actually anything. A nosebleed.
We got him.
Got me.
You're going first down the stairs, Max.
Oh shit, blood. I said to my mum, you got to have defective children. Yeah, I make a good joke, but I'm not going to say this. I don't want to get cancelled.
Luckily, Max doesn't have a camera. You know what's bad? The camera's on you every time he talks. So
I feel like he's a good ventriloquist. He doesn't- his mouth doesn't move. Why did his voice just get deeper?
yeah. How's he doing that right now?
It's very impressive.
Maxie, you got any questions for Robbie?
Yeah, man. For one, where can people reach out? And two, where you got any upcoming? I know you do have upcomings, but share with these guys what upcoming events you've got coming up for yourself in lifting, where we can find you and where we can kind of monitor what's different. So because obviously powerlifting and in strength sports is a very niche sort of sport, especially multiply. Like people will see those sort of lifts, like Westside Barbell. You can see his shirt there. It says Conjugate Against the World. So Conjugate Method is from Westside Barbell, the mecca of powerlifting, where everything started. Big Louis Simmons is a guy who will openly say, I have trained Olympian athletes and I have given them protocols for taking steroids. Like that guy's pretty much, he's now passed, but he was the godfather. He translated Russian texts about training. The guy knows fucking lots. But anyway, if you want to tell them about Multiply, about how different it is and the fucking weight they can lift, it's pretty incredible. Yeah. That's probably how I've gone too far in. Tell me where we can find you and what upcoming stuff you got coming up.
Yeah. Well, I can start with the difference between, raw and powerlifting is pretty niche as it is. It's growing, obviously, but for some sort of context, I guess that Multiply competitors in Australia last year, there was 26 in all of Australia.
Yeah, well.
For raw powerlifting, there's thousands. So, and then worldwide, I think we're at 750 people who've competed in the last year. It's like coming back. Once upon a time, Multiply was powerlifting. People only competed. Like you could compete raw, but you were going to lose against the guys who were wearing gear.
Sure.
And then around 2010s, it changed. CrossFit fed a bunch of people into powerlifting, and lots of people got more interested in raw. It's a lower barrier to entry because you don't need all the shit, and you don't need to spend all the time learning the gear to use it. So you could just come in, put your knee sleeves on, put your belt on, compete, and then there's heaps of people to compete against. So it's grown a lot, but Multiply is growing a little bit, and been a bit of a resurgence in Australia. 26 is not many, so. That ties into what I've got coming up in doing ACT states for the CAPO Federation. When is it? March 16th, same weekend as your comp.
17th.
March 16th is because it's on the Saturday, which is weird. Most of my comps are on a Sunday. This one's on a Saturday. I'm like, this is
God's
strange. But I'm going there. I don't normally compete in that federation, but I'm going there because in Canberra there's about 10 equipped lifters. So I want to go where the competition is. And so my goal is to qualify for nationals for there, and then we go up to Queensland in August, hopefully. So we'll get through that, hopefully, and then we'll go up to Queensland and put it all together on the big stage.
Yeah, nice.
And you're going for a few records too.
Yeah, well...
Yeah, what are you aiming for?
Well, I've got some records in sight. I'm old, so I'm in Masters 1, so I look at the Masters records because the Open records are a little out of my reach, so I'm taking aim at the things that I can legitimately swing at. In GPC, which is the federation I normally compete in and what Max competes in, I have the records in the 140 weight class for squat, bench, deadlift, and total.
Wow.
What are they?
They are squat 335, bench 220, deadlift 285, and the total's 840. And then I think
Jesus.
possibly equipped for masters all time. I've got those in GPC too. Haven't actually looked at that, but across all weight classes. And then so I want to move into capo because there's more equipped lifters and
Yep.
there's more of a challenge to aim up.
Yep.
Because there's people that are better than me. They are younger, so they're
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you say you only, how long have you been doing powerlifting for? Did you say?
I've been powerlifting about as long as I've been coaching.
Yeah,
So,
so that's-
when I started coaching, I didn't coach powerlifting specifically.
Yeah.
Although I kind of started doing, so I probably powerlifted exclusively for about 6 months before I started coaching my first trial client.
Yeah.
And there's a joke within powerlifting communities: people do one meet and they're a coach. I'm almost literally that. I actually hadn't done a meet and I was a coach. So my first competition, I took my guinea pig client as well,
Yeah.
and she came second, mind you. So
Little flex.
yeah, little flex. And so how I got into it, I was just like, this makes sense, and I understood it really quickly. So as frustrating as the process is as a starting later in life, because I don't have the high levels of natural testosterone and stuff's been hard. It's been an uphill battle. But yeah, so I've been competing 6 years. I've been coaching a little bit longer. But yeah, not exclusively powerlifting coaching.
Do you think if you were do it a little bit younger, you would have hit those bigger targets?
Oh, possibly.
Yeah.
But you can't go back, can you?
Yeah, no.
No.
I certainly wasn't. Like, I didn't actually step foot in a gym until I was in my 30s. Like, I'd never even been in one.
Yeah.
I knew nothing about what to do, how to do any of it. I had to be shown everything from scratch. And luckily, I guess my nephew, he is, because they're married, he is a really good personal trainer, and he showed me.
Awesome.
He's just like, I'm like, can I do some sessions with you? And he's like, no, just come and train with me. And he just ran me through a pretty standard bro split of,
I think that's how everyone learns the good old bro split.
Yeah.
It's the best way.
and then like, because the compounds were in there, I was like,
Yeah.
apart from bench, I love these. I hated bench because my body was weak as all
Gotcha.
get out.
Yeah.
I like bench now, but
Yeah.
it's still probably my most frustrating lift.
Yep.
But yeah, it wasn't something I naturally was good at. I certainly wasn't naturally super strong. I got strong kind of quickly. But yeah, I would have got better if I started when I was younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the right.
I think that's with everything though.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I was too busy drinking and playing music.
Learning your lessons.
I learned many a lesson in my 20s.
So if people are going to reach out to you and start working with you, it would be specifically for powerlifting?
No, so I coach powerlifting, I coach strongman.
Yep.
And I coach lots of general fitness clients as well.
Yep.
Strength and conditioning for sport.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of do the whole thing. I work with mums who just want to get fit and a bit stronger and lose weight. I work with people who are coming back from injuries. But yeah, most of my clients are either competitive powerlifters or strongmen. And that's who I'll generally market to. But
Yep.
I don't turn anyone away. If we click, we work together.
Sure.
And, if it's just having you do body weight movements for a healthier life, then that's what we do.
And is this out of the same gym?
Yeah, at 100 Strength Performance, I do all my
Yep.
in-person stuff out of there. I coach online as well. You can find me on Instagram at Rob_Hunter_strength.
Yep.
And yeah, that's the best way to get in contact with me.
Yep.
Sweet.
Absolutely. Well, yeah.
Got a couple of questions.
Go for it.
What was your biggest takeaway from our event? And then what is your biggest life message?
Biggest takeaway from the event, jeez. So I didn't take many notes at the event. And I kind of I almost felt bad because there's people like taking pages of fucking notes. And I'm like, there's like 3 things that really stood out. And it was, the biggest thing was probably, and again, like, if my dad ever watches this, he's probably going to feel really bad, but there's certain parts of my childhood that I resent my dad for, and it was mainly because of that anger stuff and his grumpiness. My takeaway from that was to not be that part of my dad that I resent for my kids. So that's probably the biggest takeaway. And to just, there was a few things. That's probably the biggest one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's your biggest message that you live by? Because do you have? Did you? I think you said he has a message in the gym or something. Or you?
Oh yeah, when I did my potty, it was his slogan.
Yeah, strength through persistence
That's
is my
it.
slogan.
Yeah.
Among others, like, so I just coach under my name, but persist is the word that I've attached to it. It's not really the company per se, certainly not a registered company. Persist was kind of my motto.
Yep.
Particularly when that kind of formed during training in the shed during brutal lockdowns in Victoria that just didn't ever seem to end.
Yeah, that was savage, man. Savage.
And I was like, I'd moved into equipped lifting at that time, and I was training on my own in the shed, and it's really a really frustrating sport or variation of the sport. With help and without help, it's torturous. So
Went
that
out the other day.
yeah, that kind of came up during that. So persist is the motto that I attach to it. I've got strength through persistence is the
Awesome.
expanded version. But
Yep.
I guess my motto that I live by would be, and I see that you've got some Jung books on the
Yeah.
shelf.
Yeah, Carl Jung's my favourite.
Yeah, I'm a big Carl Jung fan myself. And one of his quotes is you are what you do, not what you say you'll do.
Yep.
So I try and live by that.
Massively. Yeah, massively. Yeah, Carl Jung, if anyone out there if wants to start exploring the ideologies of the unconscious mind and everything else in between psychology, Carl Jung's your man, I would say. There's a few others, definitely, but Carl Jung's definitely, if you want to, the key ideas, see if I get this without them falling over. Yep. Yeah, that book there, Jung, The Key Ideas. Great place to start out Jung's ideologies because, as you know, it's pretty savage the way that he writes it and the words, and you can get pretty lost in it. But if you start to explore that one first, it's a lot easier.
I think Jung's good in that it covers a bit more of, it's a bit more all-encompassing. It
Yeah.
delves into almost the spiritual realm.
You could say he was definitely the one to explore the idea of dreams and the unconscious mind being connected and how you can use that through psychology as well. Yeah, I reckon he was definitely the first one, which was definitely a pioneer for a few other people that we've done a lot of research through, like Dr. Stanislav Grof, and there's a few others out there that have always referenced his work. So
JP.
yeah, JP's always referenced his work. So if you want to start to explore it a bit further, I would highly suggest that book to start with. And then there's heaps more books that you can go through.
If you're not a learned reader, starting with some sort of basic explainer, like
Yeah, this
the
would
key ideas would be good.
Yeah, this is the foundations of it, and then
Yeah, Jung's pretty heavy.
Then Jung, there's a few others there I can't quite see, but yeah, there's a few, especially of his deeper readings and work. It can take a little bit out of the. You probably read 5 pages in a row and you go, all right, that's enough for today. Let me
You
put that
probably
back down.
ask 5 people about those 5 pages and you get 5 different answers.
100%, exactly. Yeah, definitely, 100%. 100%. Well, mate, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you. So
Greatly
much.
appreciate it. That was a sick chat. You're a very first guest of 2024, so there you go.
Just wrap it up.
We're about to actually head out to your gym now and do a bit of content out there and see you in your element and have another 15-minute conversation with you, which is going to be pretty cool. So I think that content will obviously be out before this one. But yeah, if you're looking to broaden your horizons in the strength game, I would absolutely highly recommend this bloke over here 100%.
And I'm endorsing that shit.
Yeah.
I'm endorsing that. Like, if I hadn't had Leroy, and sticking with him, but then again, when Leroy kind of wants to do his trip around Australia for a few years, I'll be with Rob. Because I don't want to do them shit myself. I'd rather have someone else tell me what to do.
I'm a coach and I've got a coach. So
100%.
Yeah, we all need coaches.
100%.
I'm a coach, got a coach. We all do.
And I've got Lauren. All right, so
Yeah, no, thank you. Appreciate you coming on. So
yeah, no, that was awesome. That was
Be good
fucking
to catch
awesome.
up.
welcome, guys.
Yeah, that's sick. If you like I said, if you need anything, reach out to Rob. He'll hit you up. We'll put his socials in the description down below. That's it. We'll catch you next week. Peace.
peace out.